In a world where flair often outshines focus, one man has quietly mastered both. From the humble fields of the Eastern Cape to the thunderous roars of World Cup finals, his journey is not just about speed or skill, but about vision, leadership, and unshakable belief. He's the calm in chaos. The mind behind the magic. The heartbeat of the Springboks' success. Welcome back to Skylight Waves, where we uncover the stories behind sporting greatness, and today, we dive deep into the extraordinary rise of Lukhanyo Am, the silent general of South African rugby. Early life. But long before the world knew his name, before the trophies, the green and gold glory, and the global applause, there was a young boy from King William's Town with nothing but raw determination and a dream. Born on November 28, 1993, in the Eastern Cape of South Africa, Lukhanyo Am grew up in a modest home where discipline and humility were daily lessons. His early rugby journey started on dusty school fields, where his natural instinct for reading the game stood out even before he had the size or strength. He joined the South Coast Sharks Rugby Academy in Margate, where his raw talent began to mature into precision. Am's quiet work ethic and unbreakable spirit soon earned him a spot in the Border Bulldogs under-19 squad, who won the 2012 Provincial Championship Division B and secured promotion to Division A. His 6 appearances and 3 tries that season hinted at the brilliance to come. Soon after, Lukhanyo caught the attention of scouts abroad and spent time with Saracens in England, as part of a British High Commission exchange program, a rare opportunity that exposed him to the professional game's intensity. Returning home, he joined the Border Bulldogs senior squad for the 2013 Vodacom Cup, making his debut against the defending champions, Western Province, in Paarl. It was a small step, but for Lukhanyo, every minute on the field was a lesson, every tackle a test of resilience. The breakthrough, Southern Kings and Sharks. In 2016, opportunity knocked again when he joined the Southern Kings on a trial for the Super Rugby season. Though the Kings were an underdog team, Am's performances stood out, not for flash, but for flawless consistency. His defense was intelligent, his passes crisp, and his positioning near perfect. His short stint there was enough to earn a move to the Sharks, and it was in Durban that Lukhanyo Am's quiet rise became impossible to ignore. By 2017, 2018, and 2019, he was a key figure in helping the Sharks reach consecutive Super Rugby quarterfinals, a testament to his growing influence and leadership. In January 2020, he was named captain of the Sharks, succeeding the legendary Tendai Beast Tawarira, a moment that symbolized both respect and responsibility. International rise, the Springbok story. Am's international journey began quietly too. In 2013, he was named in the South African Barbarians squad that faced Saracens in London, an early sign of his growing reputation. In 2016, he earned selection for the South Africa team to face the England Saxons, where his performance in Bloemfontein and George turned heads. Fast forward to 2021, and the same man who once played off the bench was now captaining South Africa, leading them to victory against the visiting British and Irish Lions, and even scoring a try in the process. His leadership, composure, and reading of the game made him a natural fit for the Springboks, where he quickly formed one of the world's most dominant midfield partnerships with Damien Dayende. The 2019 Rugby World Cup, a defining moment. The world finally witnessed Lukhanyo Am's greatness on the biggest stage, the 2019 Rugby World Cup in Japan. In the final against England, AM produced one of the most iconic plays in South African rugby history, that unselfish offload to Makazole Mapimpi, leading to South Africa's first ever try in a World Cup final. That single moment, full of vision, calm, and generosity, captured everything Lukhanyo Am represents. A player who doesn't chase glory, but creates it for others. South Africa went on to win 32-12, lifting the Webb Ellis Cup for the 3rd time. Am's influence extended beyond the scoreboard. His composure, leadership, and rugby IQ anchored the Springbok backline throughout the tournament. The British and Irish Lions Series, 2021. When the British and Irish Lions returned to South Africa in 2021, AM stood tall again. He played all 3 tests, helping the Boks secure a historic 2-1 series victory. His defensive organization, vision, and attacking creativity cemented his status as one of the finest centers in world rugby. That year, rugby analysts and fans alike hailed him and Allende as the best center pairing in international rugby, a partnership built on trust, timing, and understanding. Setback and redemption, 2023 Rugby World Cup. In 2023, heartbreak struck when Arms suffered an injury in the final warm-up match before the Rugby World Cup in France, leaving him out of the initial squad. But fate had other plans. When teammate Makazole Mapimpi was sidelined by injury mid-tournament, Lukhanyo was called up as his replacement. Even without playing the full campaign, his presence alone symbolized the brotherhood and unity within the Springboks, a culture he helped build. Once again, South Africa defied the odds to win back-to-back World Cup titles, and though Arm's role was smaller this time, his legacy was already sealed. Honors and achievements. Every great leader leaves behind a trail of triumphs, not only the medals that shine, but the moments that define what victory truly means. With South Africa. When you speak of South Africa's modern rugby era, you speak of Lukhanyo Am, a man whose fingerprints are on the nation's proudest moments. Rugby World Cup champion, 2019, Japan, 2023, France. In 2019, his breathtaking unselfish pass to Makazole Mapimpi etched his name into rugby folklore, as the Springboks lifted the Webb Ellis Cup for the third time. 4 years later in France, despite missing the early games through injury, he returned to the squad as a symbol of resilience, as South Africa made history again, becoming back-to-back world champions. Rugby Championship winner, 2019-2024. Twice, Am helped South Africa conquer the Southern Hemisphere, outplaying New Zealand, Australia, and Argentina, reminding the world that the Springboks remain kings of the South. British and Irish Lions Series winner, 2021. In a battle that comes once every 12 years, Am stood tall in every test, his defensive steel and composure key to South Africa's series triumph. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement of Springbok dominance and unity. South Africa, a captain and winner versus British and Irish Lions, 2021. Before that iconic series, Am captained South Africa, in a fiery warm-up clash, leading his men to a famous victory over the Lions. He didn't just wear the captain's armband, he embodied its weight, scoring one of the team's 2 tries and setting the tone for the battles to come. Qatar Airways Cup, 2024, versus Wales, Twickenham. In 2024, Am lifted another trophy under the London skies, as the Springboks dominated Wales at Twickenham, a victory that celebrated South African pride and global stature. Nelson Mandela Plate, 2024, versus Australia. Named in honor of South Africa's greatest son, this was more than just silverware. Defeating Australia to claim the Nelson Mandela Plate was a tribute to unity, resilience, and the spirit of Madiba, values that mirror Lukhanyo's own journey. Freedom Cup, 2024, versus New Zealand. Against the mighty All Blacks, Am once again stood firm in green and gold as the Springboks reclaimed the Freedom Cup, a triumph carved from discipline, pride, and relentless belief. With the Sharks. Beyond the international stage, Am's leadership continued to shine for the Sharks, where he became both captain and cornerstone. EPCR Challenge Cup champion, 2023-24. In one of the proudest moments in franchise history, Am helped guide the Sharks to their first ever European title, lifting the EPCR Challenge Cup and putting South African club rugby firmly on the European map. Currie Cup champion, 2024. And on home soil, he led the Sharks to Currie Cup glory, a trophy rich in South African history, won through grit, unity, and unbreakable spirit. From the green fields of Margate to global arenas, every trophy he's lifted tells a story, not just of victory, but of character. Because for Lukhanyo Am, the true measure of success isn't what's in his hands. It's what he gives to the game, to his teammates, and to his country. Legacy. Lukhanyo Am is more than a player, he's a thinker, a leader, and a symbol of the modern Springbok spirit. His quiet presence commands respect. His decisions define games. And his humility, even at the height of glory, continues to inspire the next generation. From Borders' dusty pitches to global glory, he has shown that greatness doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it speaks softly, and still shakes the world. This was the story of Lukhanyo Am, the silent general of South African rugby. And you've been watching Skylight Waves, where every legend rises.